And we're recording. Go.
Oh, go where?
Action. Oh. You need a little thing. Take one. I know, I want one of those.
That'd be fun. So, Pam, you start in there.
Stop.
Okay.
Where do you want me to start, Terry? Okay. Well, I was going to post this letter that I told you about. A letter to Eve that I heard in my ear from the Father that Adam was talking to his Eve. But I'll save that for, I'll hang on to it.
I'm like, get us so excited.
He's, I know. I gotta go with this.
Huh?
That's how they make you stay to the end. Okay, so I was going to start out with Ezra 1, but he directed me differently. So we're going to go to, I believe this is Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45? I believe so. Let me know what you get, because I got it off of the computer and 45. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed. 45 through, I believe it's 7 is what I'm going to read.
So chapter 45, 1 through 7?
1 through 7, yes. And the backstory on what I'm going to be talking about is Cyrus. Cyrus the Great was the king over Persia, and the story unfolds of how he brought the Jews back to Israel. And there's a parallel with that story to what's happening today with our president. Because I know that prophecy talks about how Cyrus back then is like Trump is today. There's a parallel between the two. What happened back then, same thing. So it says God's message to his anointed, to Cyrus, whom he took by the hand to give the task of taming the nations. If we stop there for a minute and we think about how many places Trump has been to. Yes, I did write it down. Thank you. He has been to Germany. He has been to Afghanistan, Argentina, Canada, China, Finland, Israel, North Korea, South Korea, Singapore, Ireland, Italy, Vietnam, Japan, United Kingdom. Those are just a few. Those places is everywhere he has been. So God is talking to Cyrus, and he's talking to Cyrus about other nations and taming them. Same thing that Trump is doing. He's going, hey, you need to go over here and go talk to the president and the teams there. So he gave the task of taming the nations of their terrifying king. That follows right along with what Trump is doing. There's a lot of presidents before Trump that they would bow to those people. They would bow to their presidents, and they would make ungodly deals. And they would turn over the United States and the things that we had to offer to those nations when we should not be doing that. Well, Cyrus didn't do that. The father gave Cyrus free reign, no restriction. That sounds familiar too.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead of you, clearing and paving the road. I'll break down bronze city gates, smash padlocks, kick down barred entrances. I'll lead you to buried treasures, secret caches of valuables. Sounds like geocaching. Confirmation. I know, right? That's the first thing I thought of. Buried treasures, geocaching. I'm like, hey, yeah, it is. It is. Confirmations that is, in fact, I, God, the God of Israel, who calls you by your name. It's because of my dear servant Jacob, Israel, my chosen, that I've singled you out, called you by my name, and given you this privileged work. And you don't even know me. You don't even know me. I am God, the only God there is. Besides me, there are no real gods. I'm the one who armed you for this work. He gave him the heart. He gave him the ideas. He's the one that's propelling Cyrus. He's the one, our God. So that everyone from the east to the west will know that I have no God rivals. There's no one that can come up to God and say, fight you. There isn't anybody. I am God, the only God there is. I form the light and create the darkness. I make harmony and create discord. I, God, do all of these things. So that's just kind of a backstory of how God sees Cyrus at this time. But I found it very interesting in what this scripture paralleled with what Trump is doing and how he's propelling Trump to do some things, some presidential things, some things not so presidential. But it is parallel, like I said before, to what's happening today. Okay, so what else do you want me to read, Lord? Okay, so he's going to have me go to Jeremiah 27:22. Okay, so that says they will be taken to Babylon. He's talking about the Jews that were in exile. And there they will remain until the days I come for them, declares the Lord. Then I will bring them back and restore them to this place. He's just letting us know what's going on, why they're there, and the time frame for them to be there. And then Jeremiah 29:10 says, for this saith the Lord, after 70 years, 7 are completed at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word towards you and cause you to return to this place. So they were taken to Babylon. They stayed there for 70 years, the Jews. So as they are nearing that 70 mark, Cyrus comes into play, which he becomes their king because of the Lord. And he says, 70 years is up. You're leaving because I no longer want you king. Cyrus is coming in here, President Trump, and I will do all of these things through Cyrus. I will do all these things. I'll bring my people back. We are his people. We are coming back from exile. We are going to be the remnant. So, he talks about in 2 Chronicles 36:21, the land enjoyed its Sabbath rest. All the time of its desolation, it rested until the 70 years were completed in fulfillment of the word of the Lord. So he was going to bring them out of exile through Cyrus. He performed that. He made that happen because that was his word to his people. 27. Oh, no, that was the other one. Sorry. 36:21. Oops. Hey, what's going on? Okay, so 70 years were up and they're headed back. Okay, so they're looking back at this exile as, oh my gosh, the Lord is judging us, and we were left there, and he didn't forget them. He wanted them to be stretched and to learn. He wanted them to learn some things because they didn't listen to him. So they're looking at this place as the judgment, but also it contains hope for a future. He is taking the purified remnant, which is us. Is there anything I need to do?
No, keep going.
Can I help you?
Keep the dog. Keep going.
Okay. So, he is taking the purified remnant to a purified land, which they're going back to Israel. We're going back to our garden. And a new age is beginning. So, this is specific to us, and this is what he told me after these scriptures. We're the remnant. He has set us apart. We are sanctified. We all have pulled ourselves away from the world. We have separated. We have got closer to him. For this time, we didn't do it on our own. He's the one that set us there. He's the one that pushed us to that place. He had to stretch us. He had to take us by the hand to separate ourselves from the world. He purifies us and makes us holy, because that is what he's about. That's what he does to his people that keep returning to him. Well, that sounds familiar too. So, he will not pour new wine into old wineskin. That's why we're purified. That's why he's bringing us back. He wants us to know that he has not forgotten his covenant, his word to those people back then. Speak to the word, this word to us. It's important to us right now. Even though it was back then, we're going to pull that forward and use it. Okay, so. All right, so I told you about the remnant. God remembered his covenant and restored his people to the land. He's manifesting his covenant. It kind of sounds like what he's doing today. Just a quick note from Ezra 4, 1, I don't know if it's 1 through 5, but 1. There were adversaries that came and wanted to help after the remnant, or the Jews came back to Israel. They were told to start building the temple through Cyrus, because that was his purpose. That was why God put him in that place, because that's who he wanted to use. So they were starting to build the temple. So as they were building the temple, there were adversaries that came to them and wanted to help them. They were trying to talk them into, oh, let us help you because we serve the same God as you. But it wasn't true. They were trying to distract them so they could not build that temple. And it's the same thing that the Senate is doing. It's the same thing that's happening nowadays. They're saying all kinds of stuff. They're saying everything that we want to hear, but they're actually not doing it. They don't want to do it. They just want us to, okay, they said the right thing, but they're not actually going to do it. They have their own agenda as these adversaries in this particular time. So they wouldn't accept their help. So they just told them to get lost and get out of there, that they were going to keep doing and building, but they didn't want them there. So get lost, get out of here. We don't need you. Because they wanted to disrupt the work that Cyrus was planning on doing, just like Trump is doing. He's trying to get us back to a good place in the USA. So where we don't have to count on China or the other nations, or we can make all of our stuff in the USA and prosper here where we don't need the other nations. Right. Or maybe there's a good deal that we could do with other nations, but not under the heavy weight of their what they had already planned out, like through other administrations. So that's where that's headed. So this leads us into, he's talking about the law of Moses, and he was talking to Moses about the 7 feasts. I'm not going to get into them because that's not where he has me going. He just wants me to touch on them first. He made the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. And he wants us to observe that 7th day, which I believe we know that. First fruit was we're supposed to remember God and give him our best. Whatever we get from the harvest, whatever we get from working, whatever we get to honor him, we're supposed to give him the best. Same for the Feast of Trumpets, but at the end of that, you're supposed to blow the trumpet or the shofar, and that will honor God. These are things back in Moses' day, but we can honor them today because they mean something to God. They mean something to him. He set those up for such as their time back then, and it was important to him. So they walked through each of those feasts. But my point is, through all of these feasts, it happened on the 7th. The Sabbath was the 7th. All of these feasts was in the 7th month, but it was just a different date. But there's significance to it, and he just wants us to know that there's significance to the things that he set up for those people back then. And we still honor them today. We still walk through those, but he's gone somewhere with it. Okay, we have heard enough about the 7 feasts. He just wanted me to touch on that. For the number 7, which he's been giving me a lot, God finished creation, which I already told you that. 7 days of the week, correct. 7 is a divine perfection, as in the garden. He made the garden on the 7th day. He rested. I think that's all I wanted me to tell you about that. All that and that. Okay, so he's talking to me about Trump. That's done. Over there. He was talking to me about Trump, and I had gone past a picture online with Trump in a stadium. And that stadium was packed. It was like full to the brim, and everybody was there for a certain purpose. And he was telling me that those people that are in that stadium, that arena, he said, those are my people. He says, there's more out there, but these people are specifically my people because they want to hear what he has to say, because they're tired of the BS that's going on out there where everything is so chaotic and everybody has their own idea, but they're willing to hear what Trump has to say. And it's not because of the man, it's because of everything that he has talked about, he has put in effort forth, and that means something to God, just as the feast, just as building the temple back in Moses' day. Everything that happened back then was important, and everything that he's doing is important. So he's telling us that those people are his people. He also said, I'm using Trump to get the people awake. If anybody listens to Trump, he's very forward about how and what he thinks about what's going on. He's very proactive about a lot of stuff, but he voices it because no one's talking about him in a good manner. And someone has to toot his horn. If no one else is, he's going to do it because that's who he is. And we accept him for that. You know, we accept him for that. I'm using Trump to get people awake and back to the garden, and they don't want it. There's a lot of people that want it, some that do not. The divide has already happened. God is surely winning. This packed arena is God's people, and they're showing up for what's right, what is right and what is correct, what is moral. Not to say that Trump has every moral fiber in him changed over. He's using him, and it doesn't matter in what aspect. Sometimes he acts like he's being good, some days he's not. But so are we.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry.
So are we. We're all looking at him like he needs to be perfect, but you know what? I need to look at me and say, you know what? I make mistakes too. I'm human. So there's that. He is moving us into God's kingdom, and he's moving us toward those end times. We already know that. We already know it. We already see it. It's already manifesting. Some people know it because they're awake. Some people don't know it because they don't want to see it. They're not wanting to hear it. There are things that Trump is doing for the good of man. If you want to see it, you're going to see it. Inching us to the garden. But you have the people influenced by spirits and demons that don't want to hear. They don't want to hear about the good. They don't want to hear about all the stuff that he is doing. They just want to attack what he's not. Kind of like the other day when Carrie wasn't wearing her mask. They didn't say, Carrie, you're such a good this and that, and thank you for everything that you do. She's not wearing her mask. That's just the same thing. Same thing. So, he's leading all of us to the good things that he has. We all know that. This is why the two worlds are colliding. Because they all know, they see how full everything is. They know the people are awake. And we're like, yeah, we want to hear. But yet the ones, the spirits, the demons are like, no, we don't want any part of that. And they're crashing heads. We're pulling forward, or not backwards, but pulling forward. And they're like, no, you guys, no, we're not giving up what we used to have. That's why they're colliding. He's bringing things back to order as far as authority, the Constitution, things that have been broken for a long time. Things that have been broken for a long time, God is using him to straighten those broken things out, and he just brought it right there. He just brought that. There was a lot of things broken in our world that we were not aware of, and now that things are coming to the forefront where we're starting to hear of those broken things. We're starting to see those broken things because they're manifesting in front of our eyes, and you can't deny that. You can't say, well, that's not really happening, when you've got situation after situation, file and pictures and videos, and everything adds up to this truth, but yet you still don't want to see it. It's still the truth, whether you want to see it or not. It's the truth. It's the truth. Right. So he was telling me, the Father was telling me, he says, there's a lot of people out there that are saying Trump is evil. He's hateful. He's a bigot. He's this. He's racist. He doesn't like that. He is against women, blah, blah, blah. So he says, okay, that's right. He said, let's say Trump is evil. I said, okay. He said, so Trump is evil, but you have all of these witches getting together, which was, I think, last month or whenever. They were all getting together, and they were going to put a spell on Trump, or they were going to try to get rid of him somehow. Which do not
Just lost the audio.
There you go.
Okay, thanks. So I didn't hear what you said after witches.
I didn't. I stopped.
Okay.
So he said, if the witches are casting spells and they're all coming up against Trump and they're wanting to take this man down, and they'll just do anything. So Trump is evil. So that means he's worshiping Satan, because that's what witches do. Witches don't go after people that are in the same group or the same cult that they are. You can clearly see that. He said he's not. If you have witches and people that are coming up against Trump, it's because Trump's in the way. Trump is in the way of something. That's why they're going after him. He's got his own issues. Whether he's evil or not is besides the point. He's not for witches and all that other stuff. That was just the point that he was getting across to me to give to you guys. He's in the way, is what he is. Right. That's it. That's exactly it. And it would. Yeah.
That's right.
That's what he's talking about. Okay, so got that. Okay, so the next day, this was like a Wednesday, I wrote the dates down here. The next day, Thursday, he's talking to me about as I move Trump forward, as I have with Cyrus, Trump is not interested in like the Democrats' ideas. He's not interested in some of the other people, their own agendas. He's not interested in what they have to say about his person. He's not interested in how they should run things or how he should do it. He's interested in us. He wants to know what we want. He's interested in how he wants to get things moving for the people, just as God was interested in getting things done and prepared for the people, like the temple. And they don't have to agree with him. He doesn't care. Trump is like, well, that's nice, but we have a job to do. You're either for me, you're gonna work with me, or I'm gonna do it on my own. So obviously, he's doing it. More of those. That. Right. Okay, so this is where I was hearing the national anthem in the stadium. I don't know if you want to take over and. All right. Okay.
Terry told you guys how how he asked me, what is the next holiday coming up? And I said, 4th of July. And he said, what happens on the 4th? Picnic, family gatherings. He goes, what happens at night? And I said, fireworks. He goes, what noise do they make? And I went, boom. And he said, boom. So he also was talking about the Constitution of the United States, which is unity in our freedom. And he's been saying a lot about let freedom ring. He's been telling me and Pam, let freedom ring. And I'm like, okay. And that makes a bell. And he goes, what else makes a noise? I said, a trumpet. And he goes, what does a trumpet represent? And I said, well, Revelations, where the seals are going to be open. And he goes, and what is the seal here? Right there. He's saying freedom is for all his people, all ages, sizes, colors, and has always been there. Evil came, took it away from the beginning when it was in the garden. He's been talking about he is starting to set his people free because he's been getting rusty. And he's saying one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. He's been singing a lot of the Star Spangled Banner, all the Independence Day songs. And I told you guys how he's saying he's bringing our Adams back. Well, he's singing a new song Monday. And I'm like, it sounds like a stripper song. I'm not kidding. He said it's raining men. Oh my God. Yeah, he's singing it's raining men, which is Adam. He's cleaning them. He's washing them. And he said, expect something on the 4th of July.
Yes. Yay.
So he's leading us up to with everything he's saying about the 4th of July, and it's gonna be epic, and the fireworks and the boom. And then he showed me fireworks going off. You know how you see fireworks, you got the big boom, and then the middle was all the nasty were in these booths. Oh, cool. So we will see. Yeah. Yeah. He keeps talking 4th of July, and now we're saying countdown. So for it. Countdown. Sunday will be week 10.
So Sunday is how many days? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Saturday the 4th, and then a day.
Oh. So countdown to 4.
Countdown to the 4th.
Ooh.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yay! Come on, guys.
Countdown. So
Be it in the natural, be it in the spiritual, be it
yeah. And then
Something is happening.
something is happening.
me and Pam were on the phone, and with Trump and these rallies, Pam, do you want to go or you want? Okay. When Trump and these rallies, in every place he has been, the Father said, I'm leaving a piece of me there. Every place he goes, and what he's leaving is Jesus' footprint and his anointed. So he's gone through every nation. He's leaving his footprint. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Father, this is so cool. And he goes, it's not Trump's footprint. Remember footprints in the sand. I am carrying Trump and leaving my footprint. So, what?
Wait. Ghost, for those who are on the camera, you didn't lose audio. While we're waiting on the Holy Ghost, I'm hearing how on the mountaintop we kept saying freedom. How we went out in the middle of the pouring down rain, and we all just went out. It's freedom. We kept talking about freedom, and isn't that what 4th of July is all about? Celebrating our freedom. That's what he kept hearing say, freedom, freedom. The Father says, be set to see, I'm moving. Keep your focus on the Father, on the Holy Ghost, He's stirring and something's coming. My advancement is coming quickly. Now that you're all in position, put your focus on me. My advancement is coming quickly. I feel all this, but focus on him like you was on the mountain. Be on the mountaintop. Yes. Be. I am winning the you know, I release you, but he said, I am coming for you. I am coming and I am coming quickly before. Push me to the feet. Before I land. You come. I'm not going to push you to the feet. I say, push you to Speak over my land as I give you utterance to speak. I will hit this land with a sonic boom that will shake this earth and command my. Keep your eyes open to me. Keep your ears open to me. For I am coming quickly. Great will be the work that my world that the world will see. Manifestations, demonstrations of my power, such the world cannot do. And it will be through you that these will be done. My work will be seen throughout the earth through you. My church. You will come. But I need to come out. I have shed. Now is the time. Now is the time for my church to arise and shine. See. All is well. I am with you wherever you go. All is well. But watch and see what I'm about to do in my church. For such a time as this. I keep hearing you speaking out. It's like a nuclear bomb being hit on the earth. You've been hearing me say it. Now you're going to watch me do it. We'll be a shaking on this earth. And hope. And only my people will be able to stand. Evil will fall. My people will shine while the rest of the earth is falling in travail.
Those that have the eyes to see will see. Those that have the ears will hear. They'll know it's me. Those that do not know me will not understand.
thy will be done. It is finished. I'm done playing. I'm done messing. I'm done.
allowing them to hurt my children, to hurt my world. The world is about to see. The world is about to see like they've never seen before. Favor, increased blessings beyond what you guys could even come up with on your own, collectively together and beyond that. That's me. That's the God you serve. He says he's coming with all his glory. Freedom will reign. Watch and see what your God is about. You're still listening. He said that's what I said. And he wants me to tell you about. He wants me to tell you guys about the mountaintop when I was off to the left. And he says, I want those that weren't there to hear what I told you. And I said, okay. He said, who are you now that the battle is over? Remember we talked about that? Who are you now that the battle is over? The fight is done. So when you come to me, you don't have to come proclaiming and declaring and thus saith the Lord and all of that. You come to him and you talk to him because you're at that level that Adam and Eve was. He says, walk with me. When I was walking and I disappeared and y'all didn't know where I went, he sent me back to the cabin. And then I came back up and they're like, who are you transported? It's not impossible, right? But he said, walk with me. So I said, okay. And I'm like, oh, what to do with myself? And he's like, if you were walking with your friend, how would you walk with me? And I said, well, I'd just be walking some of the weeds and breaking them off and throwing them. He goes, that's what you do. I just want you to walk with me. I said, oh, well, come on then. So I'm pulling weeds out because they were this high, and I'm plucking the weeds, and I'm kind of just talking to him like I would if I was walking in front of you, and he was walking beside me. And he says, all I want, I just want you to be there with me like Adam, like Eve was there for me. Just like we originally were created to be, he keeps taking us back to the Adam and Eve, back to the garden. He keeps taking us back to that. That's how we're supposed to operate, but what does that truly look like? And that truly is just walking with him in the field, wherever you're at, being with him. Just like, because when Adam and Eve didn't go and talk to him like, I take authority over that lion from eating me, and I this, and you this, and God said, well, they just walked with him. Because they trusted, fully trusted that every need was met, there was no sickness, they just fully trusted him that it was. And he said, walk with me like that. And when you walk with me like that, you'll operate out of that. You'll know what to do then. You'll have the finances you need. You won't be sick. Everything they had, that's what he has for us. And if we're the ones that he's told him, we are the ones that walked in that garden like no one has ever walked before, then shouldn't we be living like we're living in that garden? And he said, I want you to walk with me like Adam and Eve walked with me before Satan came and interrupted us. And I said, God, that's good. And he said, that's where you guys are at right now. I said, yes, sir. No problem. So when I'm getting scolded because I'm telling people things, I'm like, okay. Back in the day, as Miranda, I would have been like, oh, they yelled at me. And now it's like, okay, you don't believe it, you don't want to believe it. Just like Pam was saying, it doesn't make it not true just because you don't believe it. But I'm in a place of peace. I'm in a place of rest. I'm in a place of abundance. I'm in a place of a loving relationship that no one has ever experienced that love of God like that. Well, some of y'all have experienced it recently. But I'm in that place. You're in that place. Every one of us is in that place. And he said, you don't have to get upset about what's going on out there because you're in the garden. And people are watching that and they don't understand why you're not upset or why you're not freaking out or why you're not. It's because that's what that means to be in the garden. Just walk with me is what he said. So practice that. Just, here, Father, let's go. Let's go. Help me cook dinner. Because I said, well, come on, Father, let's go then. I'm going to cook dinner and talk to him. That's what he wants. He wants that kind of a relationship. Oh, Father,
Let's go in here.
right. And we know he goes with us everywhere we go because he's our core stabilizer. But having that understanding of Adam and Eve before Satan got in there, that's what he's getting people back to that. And we're the ministers to get people back to that, to help them see, to help them hear, to help them understand. That's where he's trying to get them. Because it's that perfect place of peace. That's why Jesus came, to get us there, get us through all the junk and unlearn everything that we've been taught and get to that place of peace. Isn't that cool? That's powerful. Anyway, yeah, Father. That was awesome. That was on him. Oh, that's what I have. That's what he had. Do you girls have anything else? Sounds good. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's what we have for today. Thank you, camera people.
Love you guys. I like
Love
being
you.
in the, I like being in the garden.
I'll tell you what, me too. Me too.
Yep.
So I was telling Desmond how I was trying to teach her how to ride a 4-wheeler. And then